Okay, Senator, we should be all set to go.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome to the Senate Education Committee. Before we get going, I am going to read the right to know script. I'm Senator Ruth Ward from Senate District 8. Today we'll be holding a meeting of the Senate Education Committee, and we have one bill to consider. Before we get started, I'll read through a checklist to ensure that the meeting that we are holding is in compliance with the right to know law. As chair of the Education Committee, I find that due to the state of emergency declared by the governor as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and in accordance with the governor's emergency order number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04 and its extensions, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. In accordance with the emergency order, I am confirming that we are providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possible by video and other electronic means. We are utilizing Zoom for this electronic meeting. All members of the committee and selected legislative staff have the ability to communicate contemporaneously in this meeting through this platform. And the public has access to contemporaneously watch and/or listen to the meeting on Zoom or YouTube and via phone by following the directions and links provided on the General Court website. We have provided public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting in the Senate calendar. We are providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anyone has a problem, please email remotesenate, that's one word, at leg.state.nh.us or call 603-271-6931. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting, will be adjourned and rescheduled. Please note that all votes taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. Finally, let's start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, please also state where they are and if anyone else is in the room with you during the meeting, which is required under the right to know law. I will call the roll. Senator Hennessy.
Good morning, everybody. Erin Hennessy from Littleton. I am in my office in Coffee.
Senator Ricciardi.
There's nobody in the room right now.
Okay, good. Senator Ricciardi.
Good morning, everyone. I'm in our home in Bedford. I'm alone in the room and my husband is in the house painting.
Senator Khan.
Good morning. I am in Keene in my home. My wife is elsewhere in the house.
Senator Prentice.
Good morning, Senator Prentice here in West Lebanon, New Hampshire, in my home, and my husband and trusty dog Maisie are in the house, but in a different room. Thank you.
And I'm the chair, Ruth Ward, and I am in my home in Stoddard, and I am alone in this room. Thank you all for coming. We have one bill to consider. And I think probably we should go in executive session. Ava, right? Senator Hennessy and Senator Khan.
Move that we enter executive session.
And who was the second? Senator Hennessy. So we have one bill to take up, and that's House Bill 349, which
Madam
is
Chair, we just need to do the roll. I'm sorry, to go into executive session.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, Senator Khan,
Yes.
Senator Hennessy,
Yes.
Senator Prentice,
Yes.
Senator Ricciardi,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. So we are now in executive session. The one bill that we are taking up this morning is House Bill 349. And we have discussed that a couple of times, and it has to do with school nurses being certified by the Board of Education. We've had a lot of discussions, and I said last time that I would contact I don't know what her title is, but the one who is sort of chairing the School Nurse Association in New Hampshire. So I've spoken with her. I've spoken with the Commissioner Edelblut, and I had a lengthy letter from another school nurse that I think you all have had.
Mhm.
So when I talked to the School Nurse Association chair, she expressed, excuse me, she expressed concern saying that they really needed somebody in the DOE because they have a lot of questions on issues that she felt dealt with the DOE as far as rules and regulations. And she was adamant about having somebody in the DOE. So I talked to Commissioner Edelblut, and he says, anybody who has an issue, a question for the DOE, he has plenty of people that can answer questions regardless of what they are. There are a lot of people sort of responsible for different aspects of the schools, and any nurse in the field can call. They don't have to go through somebody else to call for them. So he still doesn't see a need for a nurse coordinator in the DOE. The School Nurses Association chair felt that it was very important to have one there, and she felt that they had always had one and they really needed one there. So at the end, I discussed this with Senator Bradley, because I sort of felt we were at a standstill. Somebody wants to be in the DOE, the commission doesn't want them in the DOE, and how do we get together so we're all on the same page? And at the end, I think there are issues with the school nurses, there are issues with the DOE, issues with the Health and Human Services Department. And my impression after talking to these different people is that what we really need to know, we need to get these parties together and come to some sort of a conclusion. And my feeling was at this point that I would like to see this bill re-referred. So we can open up the discussion on what to do with the bill. Any thoughts by anybody? Senator Prentice.
Okay. Thank you for all of the work that you've done, Senator Ward, on trying to bring everybody together to a central place of agreement. I did have an opportunity to talk with former Representative Polly Campion, who had been a real champion for this position in the DOE. So we can re-refer, or I do believe this belongs in DOE straight up. But is an option here, and maybe this is something we discuss if we re-refer it, that we put the position at HHS and have an MOU that it is tied to, because this is done in state government. Sometimes positions are funded, or they're in one particular department, but under an MOU, they function under the direction, like it's almost like they're on loan to another agency. We did this for a while with, in the early days of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. Before it was that, we took Department of Health and Human Services employees on an MOU and put them in safety, so all the people dealing with emergencies could be in one place. And it worked really well. And the law, I can find the statute that allows for this to happen exists. So that might be one way. I mean, I think what I do hear from you is that more people feel we need to have it that have worked in the field, in the schools, and represent the school nurses than not. Am I correct? That's what
On the people that I have had conversations with, yes.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. So I think it's just a matter of where exactly this needs to be. I respectfully, I don't agree with Commissioner Edelbutte. I think that when you get to a place where you're calling all sorts of different people, it's not a good way to, if you have to like for this answer, I have to go to this person, for this, I have to go to this person. You really need to have one central figure. When we start to split those duties up, eventually we end up hiring somebody to handle them all again because it didn't work. It's kind of, so maybe re-refer is the way to go to try to get everybody to the same place. But this MOU option may be realistic from put them in one department, operating under an MOU with another. That could be a way to solve this.
Right. Thank you. I have had conversation with the HHS, and at that point they were not interested in it. So that's why
Yeah.
there are sort of so many different feelings in this that I really feel that we need to get them all together to find out exactly. I mean, I do think there should be a nurse coordinator, so that somebody that they can turn to who can troubleshoot if there's a problem. The question is, where should that person be located? And I think that's what we need to come to some sort of agreement on. I don't feel comfortable saying it has to be in the DOE unless I can get Commissioner Edelblut agreeing. He did say that he would be happy to have a contract with the School Nurses Association, and I don't really know what that means. More input from the committee?
Yeah.
Senator Prentice, you had another one?
Oh, maybe somebody else who wants to talk should go. Sorry, I can wait.
Do I see other hands raised? Hennessy, did you want to say something? Senator Khan?
No, I think you've landed at a logical place, and for, I think that the idea for re-referral is a good one.
Thank you.
And it's not without, it's with many reasons that you are there, and I support your efforts to try to resolve this and be glad to assist however we can. I did raise that question about the budget for the coming year, and I think by putting this on re-refer, it defers that conversation. I guess, Senator Hennessy, hopefully you agree that there's no urgency for us to deal with the location of the position and the amount of dollars allocated to the position, that we don't need to be dealing with those questions at this time.
Mm-hmm. Senator Hennessy?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I appreciate everyone's opinions on this, but I actually support the bill as it came over. I don't think we can force a department or a commissioner to fund a position. We see that all the time, where in the budget process, something lapses, and you wonder why it lapses, is because they didn't, even though the legislature wanted them to do something, they did not do it because it didn't fit in with whatever reason they had. So I'm going to be voting against the re-refer motion, because I actually would like to pass the underlying bill as it came to us.
Okay, don't we have any? Senator Prentice?
Okay, thank you, Senator Hennessy, and for your perspective on this. So when I worked in state government and the legislature told me to do something, I did it. And I can give examples of things that I didn't even think that we needed to do, but I was told, and I did what I was told, because the body that had that, it was the law. I got the direction and I got the job done. So not just me, but everybody else that I worked with. So, I think this position already exists. It's already been funded. I think we just need to, I'm sorry that Commissioner Edelbutte doesn't think it's important, but I think we've heard from a number of other people that it's important. Need to go back now and look at the underlying bill because I've been looking at the amendment to see exactly what Senator Hennessy is talking about passing, but I don't want to, I want to look at that right now as we're having this conversation, but I just wanted to let you know, and Senator Hennessy, I appreciate your perspective, but honestly, when I was told what to do, and a legislator told me, and I did it. Especially when they passed a law. I was like, all right.
Well, the underlying bill essentially says the certification for school nurses, the DOE certification for school nurses is removed. And the school nurse coordinator, that position, I think was repealed.
I don't want to repeal that.
No, it was a nurse, it's within the Division of Learner Support. A school nurse coordinator who shall be a classified employee, and then it goes into the what that person does. So since the money was given to the Department of Education and he has not filled it. So Senator Hennessy? You had your
So
hand up.
yes, one thing, I think we're missing some of the main points of the bill that as it came to us. And one is that the state is currently requiring school nurses to go through 2 payment processes and 2 registration processes and certification processes. One for their RN degree with the Board of Nursing and one through the Department of Education. And I think that's one of the main pieces of this is that doesn't make any sense. If you're registered RN, you're an RN and they make sure that your qualifications are in order. And if the school board wants to, and the school superintendent want to hire you as the school nurse, then that's where the other piece of the school nursing comes in. As far as the school nurse coordinator, the bill does keep the position in. I don't know that re-referring this for a year will get the nurses what they need in this coming year where we still have COVID issues.
Any other thoughts?
I think that maybe that's right. Excuse me, Madam Chair. I think it's right that we probably won't find that place. I think that's what the re-refer motion is intended to try to achieve is where's the common ground and engage the Department of Health and Human Services to see, because they have been providing quite a bit of guidance for schools to operate this last
Yep.
year. And
I have.
So some acknowledgement as to how is what the path is for that role to continue, and is there a point person in one office or 2 offices that provide that guidance on a regular basis, or that can field the questions as they come forth from the field, which inevitably they will, just because each school and each region has different resources as to what they can do to help kids who need medical care while they're in school. So I think it's a worthwhile conversation. It's not going to change certification at all. That's going to stay in place. All the guidance between now and 2025 will stay in place. And so I support the re-refer, and Madam Chair, you really do know this field, so I feel confident that the people who are going to invest the time to help you gain more clarity for us as a committee and I think you'll identify who those are and be able to work with them and bring us back another idea soon.
Mhm. Thank you. Well, my feeling is that we need to find out exactly what do the nurses in the field, what do they need? What are the questions that they have? And who should they ask them? Who should they ask them of? So we do need a nurse coordinator. The question is, who, under what department should that person be? So I'm totally for a nurse coordinator. Senator Ricciardi.
Just keep in mind that the DHHS did not want to house the school coordinator position.
I know,
So I guess.
but I think sometimes if you sit down with a couple of people and you find out what are their objections and what is it, how do they see this position and where should it be? Where is the best place for that person? I think you need to open it up and talk to people. Senator Prentice?
It's Chairman Ward. So, it's kind of DOE, they don't really want to do this, and Health and Human Services saying it doesn't belong here, but we've heard from, the constituency of how important they think this role is. So, the extending the conversation and trying to not kick the can down the road, but find the common ground is, it's hard at the, in the final hour. We've been working on this for a while to do that. And I think you've really brought this to a good place. And I just want to tap into one thing you said, which would be a perfect discussion during the, a point of re-refer, is that it is possible that the funding could be used to contract with somebody outside of state government who has a position in the School Nurses Association, or even in, say, maybe even in a public health network, or some, there's a possibility that that could be set up that way as a consultant through a cooperating, agency. Those things are done. So that, and I think the commissioner has signaled to you that that's a possibility for him. So if it's not in his agency, but it's already funded, could we contract with a nursing association that specializes in this to provide that service, and kind of, and they would have to have consultation with both of these groups, but it takes that discussion, takes that piece out.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? And I that's what I heard, I think you say. And I mean, I know that this is done in other agencies.
Commissioner Aylbooth did say that he will be happy to have a court under a contract. I don't really know how those things are set up, but I mean, he did say that he will be willing to look at it.
Okay, and that's a win in itself, and it ultimately, yeah. So that's.
So would you like a motion to re-refer? Do we have one on the table?
We don't have a motion to re-refer. Senator Prentice,
I'll make a motion to re-refer.
thank you. Second,
Second.
we have a motion to re-refer and we have a second. You ready for a vote?
Sure.
Senator Hennessy,
No.
Senator Ricciardi,
Yes.
Senator Prentice,
Yes.
Senator Khan,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. So we have 4-1 for the re-refer. Ava, do we need to do anything else?
Just who's going to take this out?
I'll take it out. Or do you want to take it out?
You can take it out, Senator Ward.
If you really want to do it, I'll have you do it.
I'd be happy. I would be happy. to
Okay, thank
help
you.
assist.
So Senator Prentice will take it out. So we have 4-1 for a re-refer. And Senator Prentice will take it out. And that is it for the House Bill 349. Did you get all the information, Ava?
I did. Thank you.
Good. So we can go on the addendum calendar.
Yes.
Okay. Senator Prentice?
Senator Ward, I just want to once again thank you for navigating all of the different sides of this conversation and getting, you've done, it's tough to be kind of in the middle, and you've done a really nice job with this. So thank you. I appreciate
Thank you.
your time and
Thank you.
effort.
Thank you. So that being it, we can go out of executive session, I believe.
So moved.
Senator
Second.
Khan moves second. Senator Prentice. Senator Rishardi,
Yes.
out of executive session. Senator Hennessy,
Yes.
Senator Khan,
Yes.
Senator Prentice,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. So we're out of executive session. And there is nothing else that we need to discuss. This was the only bill that we had to finish up. So do I have a motion to adjourn? Senator Prentice?
Sadly, yes.
Senator Rishardi, second. Senator Hennessy,
Yes.
Senator Khan,
Yes.
Senator Rishardi,
Yes.
Senator Prentice,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. So we are adjourning. Thank you very much for all of you to get up at 9 o'clock today, and we'll see each other on Thursday.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
26 minutes. Let's see if anyone can beat that this week.
Great.
Is this going on the calendar for this week?
Yes.
It is, Senator.
Thank
I'll
you.
look for the blurb, Ava. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
They'll be having, that's why they wanted it out, so that can be put on the addendum calendar, and we'll have it on Thursday.
Yeah.
So, okay, thank you all.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, bye-bye.